Okay, today is July 25th, 2022. I'm going in a condo association here. They have a problem here with a water heater backdrafting. There was 4 plumbers here, actually 6. 2 were called, 2 didn't show. Gas company and the fire department, I was here last week, and I fixed the problem, but we still have to do modification. It was putting out 3,058 parts per million of carbon monoxide. I'll take a picture and video. Okay, this is the water heater. I didn't originally put this in. I was here on 7/19. This water heater is used to heat the hot water. It's a space heater, water heater, high recovery. And they use it to heat here in the winter, so it's used all the time. It's 3 years old. It's an RG25 Bradford White. This is the rating that I got on the 19th, okay? This particular water heater was putting out 3,058 parts per million carbon monoxide that people were getting their alarm going off. Luckily, they had an alarm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct this with the use of a barometric damper. There's plenty of makeup here, but apparently it's not working with the draft hood. I did the test according to NCI. So I'll turn on the video after and take a video of how this is going to work with the use of a barometric damper. There's 2 kinds, one for oil. You got to get the one for gas, MG1. So I'm going to get to work here, then I'll show you how this is regulated. Okay, we got the T in here, and sometimes you can get this to cover over this. Sometimes you can't. I guess you can. So I'm going to leave the draft hood this fitted, and what I'm going to do is seal this according to the protocol with some flow pipe, full tape, and heat cock, and we're going to put the damper in here. So I'll have the video shortly when I'm doing the test. Okay, this is the damper. It's installed with the spill switches. This gets wired in with your thermal pail. Now we're going to turn this on, and I have the draft gauge over here. We'll take a look. We may have to adjust the weight. The draft hood gets sealed on this. You seal this. You can't fit the T on top of it. So that's, you got to cut tin and seal that. So the water heater's on. And as you can see, we're okay. This is the damper. I got a draft here. We're gonna have a draft here. I'm gonna turn this back on. The 2 spill switches, and I'm gonna see what we got. Now you can see the damper how it maneuvered. It's regulating the dilution here. parts per million are coming down. There were 3,000 before. I had a weight on here. I took the weight off. Sometimes you need them, sometimes you don't. And you can see that parts per million are low. In the draft, we got we have a 0.1, which is a good draft now. This is what you use to correct backdrafting. These spill switches are wired in. And if this comes out this way, which it's not backdrafting, the heat will knock the switches out. They're manual resets. You can see the damper, how it's maneuvering. Now, this is not for no homeowner to do. You have to be trained and take a course for this, follow the testing procedures, okay? This is a barometric damper for gas. It's an MG1 Field Controls. I'm gonna hold my phone steady. You can see the damper maneuvering, regulating the dilution air. I have 0 parts per million of carbon monoxide. This thing was putting out 3,000 parts. If they didn't have a carbon monoxide detector, they could have been fatality here. Whoever put this in, there's another contractor on there, a sticker. I don't know if they checked this when they left, but we got a 2 draft, 0.2. It started to accumulate. And we don't want to go more than the 2. Of course, it's a start, you know. So this doesn't have a weight. This little gadget here, this chain, you don't touch this nut at all. It's factory. This accepts the washers. I put one on to see what it would do. So they give you about 4 washers with a nut and a bolt if you need to control the damper. But this is how this works. It has to be installed correctly. You have to test this with an analyzer. And we're at a 0.2 draft. And that's what you want to have. Before there was no draft in there at all. There was no draft, so you can see. It's regulating to a 0.02 water column. When I did the test with the towels around, the draft, it would go up to 4, was high drafting. So we're gonna see here. And you can see that the damper is actually fluctuating. This was a problem. I was called last week by the owner. There was 4 plumbers here. The last one raised the flue. I'm gonna go on the roof and take a video. And nobody cleaned the unit or did anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shut this off here in about 10 minutes and restart it. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. And you can see how the damper is pulling in the air. Shut it off. So this maintains a 0.2. You can adjust it with the washers. Here we didn't need the washers. This constantly adds air into the stack so it's dry. A lot of people say to put a liner. This would probably be the best way to go, because it's always making a draft, and you have the safety switches. I'm going to shut my video off and restart my timer. Okay, we're going to start this back up. You see the damper move to control the dilution here? Only went up to 1800. This was going up to 500, was off initially. This had a bounce side, but we're going to shut this off. It only went up to 121. This was going up to 600 parts per million and then dropping. So we regulated the draft. And I'm going to take a video so you can see this moving. And if you install this on here, they don't tell you these spill switches are actually for a draft hood. You got to use the screws to drill a hole. File the end, put the flathead in. Otherwise, if this goes out, they'll hit the screw. It won't go out to trip the spill switch. Excuse me, can you let me set your timer for 11 minutes and let me know when your thing goes off? Thanks. I'm going to run 2 tests. Right now, you're in good shape. This is a solution for backdrafting. You call the rep for the water heater, they'll tell you to put a liner. I had another situation like this at the time. I was ignorant to it, and I walked away from it. The guy bought a new house. So we're maintaining a 0.2 water column. This is a Dwyer draft gauge. This is what you need. And before, there was no draft here at all. Okay. So this is going to run for 10 minutes, and we're not getting anything up in here. This is used for a space air handler, a space heater. This puts out the BTU. You gotta have the mixing valve, so I got this up to very hot. And it's gonna run longer. They got a mixing valve here, you can see, for the domestic. I don't know who designed this place, but I can tell you, it's a weird thing. I'm gonna take a walk on the roof to show you how they did it. In the meantime here, I'm gonna pause this video until the test is done. We're running 0 parts per million carbon monoxide. Oxygen's a little high, gotta probably adjust something here with the gas. Okay, it's almost time's up. The oxygen's coming down. It's 11.6. We're still 0 ppm parts per million. We got about 401 stack temperature, which is good. And as far as the draft, we're maintaining about a 0.2 to 0.2, a little heavy. It's not going high draft like it was. Now this will correct a low draft and a high draft. If you have a high draft situation, there's protocol. You got to do the test with the instructions, and if they check out, then you can use this also to control a high draft where you pulling the flame off the burner. But as you can see, this is regulating the dilution air versus the draft. There's plenty of makeup air in here. This place is big. There is no intake air in here. So I guess the building inspector designed this with use of the available air, but there's plenty of air because this is sealed off. We're forcing the air down through the filter here. You see over here? this is a sealed combustion chamber, so the air is going from the bottom and the damper is regulating the dilution air. Okay, the timer went off. It's been 10 minutes. I'm going to shut this off, wait and do it again for another 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to start the video. It's been 10 minutes and you can see the balls moving with the pilot light. So when we turned this burner on, my light wasn't working on the video previously. You're going to see that the damper is going to move and my analyzer is going to start registering. That controlled the initial draft. And we're taking off. I got 295, 435, 57. That'll come down. That's because the gas is a little bit high here, but that's not spilling out no more. They don't have a regulator on this. I don't know if the orifice is too big, but we're going to see. But regardless of the fact, it's nowhere near the 3,000 parts. The damper's correct because the draft's measuring, but this may need another cleaning, I have to tell her. But you can see it's come down drastically. Now I'm going to shut this off again. Wait a second. Till this clears out, I'm going to turn them back on. The damper's moving. Now in this case, I gotta make sure, you gotta make sure, and I gotta make sure if you're doing this, that the people know if the water heater leaks, the next person is gonna know about the draft. So that's what this caution repairs have been made tag is for. All right, so we're gonna turn this on once more. It didn't go up much. It's, I guess the way the situation is, but these water heaters don't have a regulator, so they have an orifice they drill. I'm gonna have to put a gas regulator before this to control the gas if the oxygen doesn't come down to about 9. Okay, so and the damper's working. We're at 0 parts per million. And we got a good draft, about 0.2. That's the draft right there. Okay. It's maintaining that. It's not going up or down. It's not high drafting. It's just a simple thing like this. But like I said, you got to do the protocol to make sure that this modification will work. The MG1 is the for natural gas, for gas. All I did was cut 2 pieces of 4-inch flue pipe, wrapped them around, screwed them to the legs that are draft hook. Sealed it with the heat cock. In this case, the washer weight is not needed. This is legal to do. Excuse my hand. This is legal to do. They're manufactured. It's in the instructions. This is a modification of his existing situation to make it safe. The atmospheric water heater, boiler, furnace, space heater. The draft hood is just letting dilution air, and it's not controlling it like it's supposed to. So each situation's different. And as you can see, we're still 0 parts per million. My camera went off. As soon as my timer's up, I'm going to be done here. Take a video of the roof for you. Your wife, whoever watches this, they have a bunch of 4-inch vents going to the roof. Instead of running 2 common on each side or 3, they had to put separate vents the way this was designed. The air conditioner's running, and that seems to be letting more air. I'm gonna cut this door, close this door off to see what happens. I closed them both. So. No, the oxygen is coming down a little bit. It's 11.2 now. The damper is still working. I want to see the draft, what we got here. We're still. At 2. It's maintaining a 2, 1.5 to 2, with the doors closed. Do me a favor. I want to simulate like you're coming in the front door with groceries. Can you do that? Yeah. Thanks. I'm going to have them open the front door. I close this door. It goes down to about 7, so there's the air conditioning is running. I'm doing all the simulation. We're going to adjourn this. I'm going to adjourn and I'm done. And call it quits. So that's the modification for the damper. Okay, I'm back in the building. I'm gonna take the elevator to show you what this place is made of. This was a brewery. It's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's a huge building. Used to be, I believe, the Duquesne Brewery. I worked in here 2 other times, but not an encounter like this. This was serious. The police were, the gas company, the fire department was here. 4 other plumbers, 2 didn't come. And the lady found me. I wrote the right materials on my website and fixed the problem. We're going on to the roof. I want to show you the vents for these water heaters. Okay, so this is the roof of the place. You can see the Birmingham Bridge. Now, this is what they've done here. So far, like I said, I'm sure there's other problems. You can see this is not the one I worked on. What somebody did here, you know. They have ducts cut in. These are the vents. Like I said, this was a brewery. It was rebuilt. These are water heater vents. All these water heaters in this building are gas, and they're used for space heating through the air handlers, a coil. So this is, you know, you might want to wear a gas mask up here, I don't know. But that's how they terminated the vents. A building inspection was done. I believe this is another unit or so up here. You have the air conditioners, the vents. Now, as you can see, that tall one, that's the one that I was working on. She had another plumber here. He was on the right track, but he raised it. Originally, it was next to this. So this is the, I guess, second floor or third floor unit. This is the one I was on. He raised it above the roof to try to catch the wind. I think whoever did this had some problems. All these vents should have been higher above the roof to catch the wind, but that's the vent right there. So, until the next adventure, I filmed this. This is a plumbing related call. Involves a water heater. It's heating too, but domestic hot water and heating. The barometric damper will correct problems like that if it meets the protocol test before you put that on. And always make sure you test the appliance. Okay, so I'm gonna be signing out here. This is Vince Marino Plumbing LLC in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you have a backdrafting problem, a red tag of any kind, give me a call.